to take a look at some of the reporting capabilities of the system once the data is actually in a cube. Right now we're looking at what's called the Cube Viewer. And the Cube Viewer displays all the dimensions and data within the cube itself. These blue boxes on the screen represent the different dimensions that I can slice and dice the data by. So in this case, I've got a scenario, which, it's forecast, actual, budget, etc. I've got my whole account structure, which I can actually drill down to individual accounts if I want to. I've got my properties within my organization. I've got a year, my months, and something called a measure. And let's say I want to do some quick analysis, maybe of net income and bonus expense for all my hotels across the year for 2013 actual to budget. Well, I can do that directly from the screen without having to have anybody else involved. I don't have to call IT and have them create a report. I can simply do that with some slicing and dicing here. So the first thing I'm going to do is pick the accounts that I want to include in my analysis. So I'm going to click bonus expense and net income and get rid of the others and just click OK. Now I want to drag down the property because I want to include multiple properties in my analysis. And I'm going to go in and pick the properties that I want to include. Okay. And you can see very quickly I'm changing up this data without a whole lot of effort. Okay. Now I want to look at forecast versus budget versus actual. So I'm going to click and drag and drop this down here, and I'm going to go in and pick actual and budget. Okay. Now I've got my data on the screen similar to what I want my report to look like. And I've got a couple different options here. The first of which I can create an Excel spreadsheet with this data by using the slice functionality. So I'm just going to click on the slice button. The system automatically creates an Excel spreadsheet with this data. And if you'll notice, all these data points are actually formulas that are linked back to the system behind the scenes, which means that I can create these Excel spreadsheets, format them any way I want to, save them, and then open them potentially next month when I update my data, recalculate them, and the data will be refreshed with the most current version of the information. I can insert rows, columns. At this point, it's just an Excel spreadsheet, and I can just recalculate the spreadsheet, and all the formulas will stay, and continue to retrieve the information just as I had brought it through before. I can also insert any type of formatting that I want to at this point. I can bold things, highlight them, etc. When I recalc, the numbers still are retained. I can also update any of this data on here as well. So for instance, I had originally created this report as 2012. I'm not limited to that. I can just come up here and click on the 2012, change it to 13, simply recalculate the data, and again, the data is refreshed using the 2013 information now. And if I hit F2 on that, I can see that the formulas are actually looking at that data that's actually on the screen itself. Okay. The other option that we've got is called an active form. So if I go back to my Cube Viewer and actually do an active form now, and click on that, it's basically very similar to a slice. In that, all the numbers are linked back to the cube behind the scenes. I still have the ability to come in here and double-click on anything and change that up. But with a slice, I've got the ability to drill down on anything that you see the plus sign on. So in this case, For instance, my account hierarchy. I want to see what rolls up to the bonus expense. So when I double click on bonus expense, it actually shows me the 3 accounts that roll up to bonus expense, as well as the bonus expense line. And if I want to shrink that down now, I simply just double click on it again, and it collapses it. So I have the ability to drill down to a certain level of detail on a slice. I can still do all the same formatting, etc., that I can with the slice, and create customized forms, which then I can come back to later and just refresh month after month. I also have the ability to create input templates using Excel by simply keying in over these formulas, and it will write data back to the system, of course based upon your security and your right privileges. This concludes our example of slices and exit forms. If you have any other questions, please let us know. Thank you.